Tonight we ride straight into the fight! Are you ready to go? We make our stands, don't give a damn! It's time to go from zero to hero! Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice. I have many voices, but one opinion. And, excuse me, I see you cannot see my face, so hang on a minute. Well, that's better. Man, start putting some pressure on it from the straps. But anyway, hello, ladies and gentlemen. And, the reason why I'm dressing up as Star-Lord, even though I only have a brown leather jacket, not a red one, and of course this Guardians of the Galaxy t-shirt, but this time I will gonna get myself a very faithful Star-Lord outfit. But that's right, I'm going to be doing a crossover theory. I know it's been so long since I ever did a crossover theory, and I think it's about time for me to start. So, this crossover theory is going to become... I decided to take from two different video games. Now, of course, one thing you should know... One thing you should know, it's going to be a crossover of Guardians of the Galaxy meets Mass Effect Trilogy. Now, of course, first off, I'm gonna mention a little something. Now, I'm gonna take the video game version, so I'm not gonna be mentioning about the Guardians of the Galaxy from the three movies that James Gunn had made, or the comic books of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I did review, which I'm pretty happy I did that. And of course, I even have a comic book of Mass Effect. I just wanted to put that out there. And of course, the video game, as you can see, I took the video game from the latest Guardians of the Galaxy and not from the Tall Tale game, because, I tried to play Tall Tale. It was alright, but it had, too many choices for me to make. And of course, it's one of these season pass discs. That means I cannot continue on with the rest of the game. It's just going to be one episode available on this, and that's it. Which that's a pain in the ass, if you ask me. And of course, one thing I still wish I like to have the DVD of the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series. So somebody please help me find a link for the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series that I want on Blu-ray. And I want the whole season. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, of course, some of you are going to be asking me for this, which Shepherd is going to be in this crossover, the male Shepherd or the female Shepherd, the Renegade Shepherd, or the Paragon Shepherd. Well, for the sake of argument, this time it's going to be both, except they're going to be brother and sister, John Shepherd and Jane Shepherd, and of course, John is going to be the Renegade, while Jane is going to be the Paragon. And of course, those two are with Garrus Vakarian, Liar Tassoni, Talizor Vos Normandy, Edie, and they're battling against the Reapers. I decided to take it from... took the part from the third game, except after losing Morton Solus and helping the Krogan, and the Quarian and the Geth are now in peace, so the Geth are helping them, and of course, the Ragnarok, they live. So, I just decided to put all these things in certain emotions. And of course, how this crossover is going to start, it'll be starting like this. Two Shepherds and his team, or the Shepherds in the team, are still fighting the Reapers, until all of a sudden this huge purple light came out like a lightning, and it split open, and out comes the Milano. Now, one thing I always heard that the Guardians of the Galaxy are a lot more powerful than the Mass Effect, so their lasers were powerful enough to take down the Reaper. So pretty much the Milano just swoops in, sees the Reaper, and goes, and bye bye to the Reaper. Now, of course, the two shepherds are looking up at the Milano and the teammates, going like, "What is that? It's unlike anything I ever seen before." And when the ship landed, out come the teams themselves: Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax the Destroyer, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot. And also, I thought for this time, have Mantis be with them, because I want Mantis to be with the Guardians. And of course, Star-Lord's going like, "Huh, this must be some kind of a parallel universe. Oh, hi there. I'm Peter Krill, also known as Star-Lord, and we're the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I noticed this giant mechanic potato bug was trying to kill you, so you're welcome." And Male Shepherd's like, "Star-Lord? Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah, that's right. I figured you guys want help." And of course, Shepard is not so sure, but Garrus Vakarian sees some potential in these groups, since they notice that the guns and the lasers from their ship is more powerful than theirs. And of course, Tali agrees with Garrus and even Liara. So the two Shepards decided to call Edie and tell them they're going to have more guests in their ship. So out comes their ship, the Normandy, SSV Normandy. And of course, Commander Shepard, he starts talking to Admiral Hackett, saying that they have some different group of people from another world who showed up to help them. And Hackett is like, "Well, at least if they're here to help us and not trying to destroy us, that's good enough for me. We need all the help we can get to stop these Reapers. Hackett out." And I think it's best that they should get to know these team members before we go any further. Anderson gives you permission to go to his apartment, so you get to know these team members. This Star-Lord fella, and of course, the, what they call themselves? Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy? Some name for a team. But I guess we do need Guardians, though. Hack it out. So the Normandy and the Milano, they went to the Citadel and enters Admiral Anderson's apartment. And now, of course, I know that there's going to be some characters that's going to get along with them and some won't. But one thing I can tell for sure, Rocket and Groot will get along with Tali Zorvas Normandy and Garrus Vakarian. And, of course, the two Krogans, Rex and Grunt, and Edie, although Groot's going to get along with Liara, but not Rocket. So they're going to get along pretty well, and of course they admire each other. I mean, Rocket will talk about the technology, since Tali is an engineer and she knows everything about tech stuff and hacking. So pretty much, Rocket gives her a bit of a techno boost and even some ideas to upgrade their ships and even fix things that are not exactly broken but need to be upgraded. And of course, Rocket likes Garrus Vakarian, telling him that he left a intergalactic police officers called C-Sec to become the Archangel. And of course, Rocket seems to like Rex and Grunt because of how tough guys they are. But of course, Rocket will pick on Edie with, her being a robot and all. I mean, he starts teasing her and she doesn't get it, but of course, she starts teasing Rocket with her sick jokes that she makes. She's kind of like that. So they pretty much, some of these members would get along. And of course, Mantis, on the other hand, she would get along with Liara Tassoni because they both are. I mean, Liara can read minds while Mantis can read emotions. And of course, Mantis will form an unlikely bond with Rex and Grunt because of how big and tough they are, and rough characters. And of course, also Mantis gonna get along with Edie, knowing how an android like her can be alive and all. So, but of course, she mostly gonna get along with Liara because it's not often that a telepath can meet an empath. And of course, Drax the Destroyer, he would definitely get along with Rex and Grunt because being warriors and such, and even they tell Drax about their planet, and even Drax feels like he wants to visit their planet, so he would honor and respect how warriors they are and how gruff and tough they are, and also Drax would get along with James Vega because how much of a strong soldier he is, and of course they both are going to be sharing energy drinks and also doing some push-ups and sit-ups and all that stuff, working out like they both do. And of course Drax honors Garrus, and he also gets really interested with Edie. Now, Gamora, on the other hand, she would get along with Commander Shepard. Both of them. Two of the Shepards. And she also would get along with Garrus, but Rex and not Grunt. And then we get to the other characters, like Star-Lord. He'll get along with Garrus Vakarian because of him being an archangel and such. So Star-Lord understands him because sometimes some of the laws that the CSEC doesn't always go well because they're always shady, crooked people who wants to get away with their legal stuff. And of course, one thing Star-Lord's for sure would get along with is, of course, Joker. He loves his sense of humor and his antics and all. Now, how Shepard would feel about Star-Lord. Now, Femme Shepard, being a paragon, she would find Star-Lord reckless, but she also would see a lot of good within him. And of course, Star-Lord would try to hit on her, but she's like, not interested. I'm already taken. Garrus Vakarian. Wait, you're telling me that parakeet-looking guy is your boyfriend? Yeah. Got a problem with it? No, no, no problem at all. No. But of course, Male Shepard, being a renegade, he thinks of him as a liability and a security risk. He would get really annoyed with Star Lord and would say such harsh stuff. I mean, he would act more like a drill sergeant towards him. But his sister, Femme Shepard, I mean, she does get annoyed with Star Lord, but she still sees some good within him and also have potential in order to save the rest of the galaxy. So she tells Male Shepard to stop. He might be our only hope. And of course, Javik shows up and going like, these people are not as primitive as you. In my cycle, we would treat you like honorary soldiers. Ashley, on the other hand, being a space racist, well, she'll be saying, oh great, another Shepherd wannabe. With their own alien insects. And if anybody gonna ask me about Caden, he's dead in the story because I don't like Caden, and neither does anybody else, because he's so freaking bland. Miranda, I mean, she would get along with, Miranda here, she would meet Gamora and find her interesting, but also tells her about her former boss, the Elusive Man, and Gamora would definitely hate Cerberus. And of course, now Star-Lord would also like Jack, because he kind of likes a bad girl, in a way. So, but also Rocket understands her, because the way she went through is the same way what Rocket went through, because she was also been experimented and tortured as well. So Rocket would understand Jack, and Jack would definitely love Rocket. And after they get to know each other a lot better, that's when the party's over, and it's time for them to go to war against the Reapers one last time. They contacted Admiral Anderson. He sees these Guardians. At first, he would have them discharged and declared them as a threat, but due to this war, there's no time for that. So one thing Admiral Anderson said is, I hope you guys can make us proud in order to help us win this war. And of course, Star-Lord being sarcastic, saying, no problem, Skipper. We can handle this. So they went to the final battle, and the Guardians of the Galaxy went with both the Femme and Male Shepherd and Femme Shepherd. And then they meet Admiral Anderson, and they also meet the Elusive Man. And of course, Elusive Man, he's going like, no, I'm in control! Nobody tells me what to do! But of course, Star-Lord, being a little gung-ho, he's like, okay, that's it. I had enough of this guy. And then he shoots him. Of course, Male Shepherd is like, I should shoot you for that irresponsibility. And he's like, so what? He's a terrible guy. He deserves it. At least you guys are okay. And then out from nowhere, out comes the Catalyst. Now, the Catalyst, he starts talking about what the Reapers are supposed to do, wiping out the human race and other species throughout the galaxy, so they can repopulate again and do it all over again when some of the organic beings stops rejecting the bionic beings, even though most of the universe use both bionic and organic. And then when the Catalyst was being so busy, Star-Lord is like, Rocket, is everything ready? And much of their surprise, it turns out most of these Reapers have been shutting off all of a sudden, because Rocket, one thing about him, he knows how to handle machines, and he shut every single one of them down. He even turned on all these 3 decisions that the Catalyst tell Shepard to use. I mean, instead of shooting that thing would destroy all bionics, or merging themselves into the bionics so you can control the Reapers, or synthesis where you can turn every single species to both bionic and organic. And the Catalyst is like, what's going on? You would doom the entire race! And of course they heard a voice saying, not exactly. And out comes Adam Warlock. And Star-Lord saying, "Aren't you a sight for sore eyes, Adam?" And of course, the two shepherds was like, "Who is that?" And of course, Star-Lord said, "That's Adam Warlock, member of the Guardians. And he's a really good help. He is both organic and bionic. So he knows how to handle bionic renegades like them." So one thing Adam Warlock did, he used the soul gem on his forehead and fire on the catalyst, and it turns out it took the catalyst into the Enter Soul Stone, so Adam Warlock would deal with the catalyst, and they have a huge argument, a huge fight with each other, and then that's when the catalyst starts seeing Adam Warlock's point of view. Nobody don't need to be both bionic and organic. Nobody doesn't need to destroy everything that's biotic, and nobody don't need to control the Reapers. It's better to just leave things alone and try to coexist between between the the organics and the biotics. So now the catalysts see Adam's point of view. So now, thanks to Adam Warlock, the catalyst and Adam, they shoot a huge beam throughout the relay and everything. So now, the war between all the species and the Reapers are over. So now, all the species and the Reapers are now coexisting in peace. Now, of course, some of them who were used to be human or used to be aliens until they were changed, they died, but the giant ones, they have decided to leave them alone. Because Adam Warlock put a stop to all of it. And then all of a sudden, all the other groups, all the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Normandy showed up, and they declared a victory. And they heard a message from Hackett going like, "This is Admiral Hackett. I don't know what you guys have done, but we won. It's over. The war between us and the Reapers, it's over. We did it. We've won. This is our victory now. Give me a big thanks to the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know how they did it, but they've done it. Hack it out." And of course, another rift showed up, because Adam moves his hands, and a giant rift showed up, and out comes Cosmos, the space dog, going like, "Guardians of the Galaxy, we found you, and we were wondering where you were, but I guess you must have saved another alternate universe. Congratulations." And Adam said, "Cosmos told me about it and know what was going on, so that's why I showed up to help you guys." Well, couldn't make it without you, Adam, and of course, these guys here. And of course, Male Shepherd and Femme Shepherd, they like to thank the Guardians for what they've done, and of course, they both salute. Now, of course, Star-Lord, he doesn't like saluting. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Hey, whenever you're in our neck of the woods, you'd be surprised what we can give you. See you later, guys. And of course, Drax giving his farewell to Rex and Grunt, and he says, "I wish I would have stayed in your planet, but I guess my home is out there. So long, or not Rex." And Drax did a headbutt on Rex, and it's like, "Ha ha ha! See you later, Drax the Destroyer." Ah, yeah. Huh. And of course, everybody said their farewell, and now the Guardians got back in their Milano and went through that rift along with Adam and Cosmos. and then the rift was completely closed, and now that was the end of the crossover theory of Guardians of the Galaxy meet Mass Effect. Well, this is my crossover theory today. If any of you like this message, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe for more. And, of course, I gotta go do my Star-Lord stuff. So, tonight we ride straight into the fight! Are you ready to go? We make our stands! Don't give a damn! It's time to go from zero to hero, yeah!